Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going deep on something I think we're all pretty fascinated by these days. Short form video apps. You know, those
Yeah,
quick little clips that seem to be everywhere.
absolutely. And it's a world that's constantly changing, right?
Definitely, constantly changing. But for this deep dive, we're going to go beyond the one everyone always talks about.
Mm.
We've got this great article here that breaks down 10
Oh,
alternatives to TikTok,
yeah.
and even some apps that, well, they might surprise you.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how many options are actually out there.
Right, it's a whole
It
ecosystem.
really is. Each one has its own vibe, its own audience.
So whether you're someone who loves to watch these videos or you're thinking about creating some yourself, I think, you'll get a lot out of this deep dive.
I hope so.
So, okay, let's just jump right in. We got to start with the big ones, right?
Yeah, the big players.
Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. Those are the
Yeah.
two that are always battling it out, it seems like. Definitely. Both have a huge number of users,
Right.
which of course is attractive to creators.
Right, you want those eyeballs.
Exactly. But YouTube, I think, has a unique advantage. You can have those shorts and also longer videos all in the same place.
That's a good point. So you're not just trying to go viral with one quick hit.
Right. You can actually build a brand, a following.
It's more about a long-term strategy.
Exactly. It's about sustainability.
And speaking of long-term, we should talk about making money. YouTube is letting creators earn money from their shorts now.
Which is huge.
Right. It changes everything for creators.
It really does. It gives them so much more power.
They can build a real business.
Absolutely.
Oh.
You're not just relying on sponsorships.
Okay, but I gotta ask, what about Snapchat?
Snapchat.
I know. We all think of the filters and the disappearing messages.
Yeah,
But their Spotlight feature, that's competing directly with these other apps.
it is. And it really appeals to a younger crowd, I think. The
Definitely.
content on Snapchat just feels different, right?
It does. It's a different vibe.
Much more raw, more spontaneous.
Yeah, and some people really connect with that. Okay, ready to move on to two that I'm really excited about.
Hit me.
Triller and Dubsmash. If you love music, these are the apps for you.
Oh yeah, they're all about the music.
Triller's got these really intuitive editing tools, so you can make music videos super easily.
And Dubsmash has just an enormous music library. Like
Oh.
anything you could possibly want, it's probably there.
Yeah, they've got it all. Okay, for anyone out there who remembers Vine, you're gonna like this next one.
Oh,
It's called Clash, and it was actually created by someone who was big on Vine.
wow, really?
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not just about recreating Vine. It's taking that idea and giving creators way more control.
Interesting. Like how?
Well, think about it. You're not just hoping to go viral and maybe get some ad revenue. Clash lets you build a community. You can even have people subscribe to your content, so you're less reliant on the algorithms and you have a more direct relationship with your audience.
That's a really different model.
It is. It's pretty cool. Okay, before we move on, we have to mention a few more players in this game.
Okay, who else?
Well, there's Twitter, of course.
Oh yeah, Twitter.
Short videos are huge on Twitter. They go viral really quickly there.
Yeah, people love sharing them.
And then we've got Facebook stories.
Of course.
Perfect for those little updates, those glimpses into your day.
Right.
And then let's not forget about Pinterest idea, pins.
Ooh, Pinterest.
Those are great if you're into DIY or just anything visual.
Yeah, a lot of great ideas on there.
And for people who are maybe a little overwhelmed by all the noise and chaos on some of these apps, there's Vero. Vero is
Got it.
completely ad-free, and they focus on high-quality content.
It's like a breath of fresh air, isn't it?
It is much more curated, less chaotic.
Like stepping into a nice, quiet bookstore.
I love that analogy. Okay, we can't forget about the OGs, the apps that paved the way for all of this.
Right, the original.
Periscope, which is actually part of Twitter now,
Yeah.
and Musical, the app that actually became TikTok.
Wow, I'd forgotten about that.
It's amazing to see how much this whole space has evolved.
It really is. It changes so fast.
So fast. And that's what makes this deep dive so interesting. We're not just talking about apps, we're talking about trends, communities, the future of content creation.
It's all connected.
It really is. And I think it's important to think about what all of this means for you, the listener.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're a creator, you have so many options now.
More than ever before.
And for people who just love watching these videos, it's like a giant buffet.
That's a good way to put it.
You're not limited to one app, one style of content.
You can explore.
Exactly. Explore, experiment. You might discover something new that you love.
You might find a community that feels perfect for you.
That's the beauty of all this. So many possibilities.
Absolutely.
And I think it's really exciting.
I agree.
Okay, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier. Creators building careers, building something sustainable.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's not just about going viral with one video, it's about the long game.
It's about strategy. It's about building something that lasts.
And platforms like YouTube Shorts and Clash, with their monetization features, they're really changing the game.
They're giving creators more power.
Exactly. They're not just at the mercy of algorithms and brand deals anymore.
It's a big shift in the power dynamic.
And it makes you wonder what the future holds.
Definitely. Will this become the norm?
Will every platform offer these kinds of features?
It's a fascinating question.
It really is. And speaking of fascinating questions,
Oh,
this whole idea of community keeps coming up.
yeah, it's a big theme.
Whether it's the music lovers on Dubsmash or the curated art folks on Vero, people are really looking for connection.
Absolutely.
And these short-form video apps, they seem to be the perfect place to build those connections.
It's like creating a virtual campfire.
I love that.
People gathering around, sharing stories, connecting over shared interests.
It's a reminder that even in the digital world, human connection is what matters.
It really is.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about different platforms, different features, the whole idea of community.
It's a lot to process.
It is, but ultimately it all comes down to this. What are you looking for in a short-form video app?
What are your goals?
Exactly. Are you looking for fame, fortune, a creative outlet, a sense of belonging?
Or maybe just a way to escape for a little while.
There's no right or wrong answer.
The beauty of it is there's a platform out there for everyone.
And what works for you might not work for someone else.
Right. It's all about personal preference.
So my advice is explore, experiment.
Don't be afraid to try new things.
Exactly. Venture outside your comfort zone, download a new app, connect with a different community.
You might be surprised by what you find.
Exactly. It's like going on a digital adventure.
With endless possibilities.
I love that.
And remember, you don't have to pick just one.
Oh, that's a good point.
You can try a few different platforms, see what you like.
It's like having a whole wardrobe of apps.
Exactly. You can choose what you want to wear, depending on your mood.
I love that.
And just like fashion trends change, so does the world of short-form video.
That's so true.
What's hot today might be old news tomorrow.
Which is why it's so important to keep exploring.
Stay curious.
And remember, the most important thing is to have fun.
Exactly. Enjoy the journey.
Well said. This deep dive has been amazing, and I feel like we've really uncovered some hidden gems.
It's been a lot of fun exploring these platforms with you.
Me too. And I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to go on their own digital adventures.
Me too.
So, dear listeners, go forth and explore.
Download a new app, connect with a different community.
And who knows, you might just stumble upon your next favorite corner of the internet.
Happy scrolling.
Happy scrolling, everyone. It really highlights how quickly things change online.
What's brand new one day is old news the next.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so interesting. It's not just about the apps themselves. It's about trends, communities, like the whole future of content creation.
It really is a whole world out there.
It is. But let's bring it back to you, the listener. What does all this mean for you?
Well, if you're a creator, it means you've got choices. Lots of different platforms to choose from.
And if you just love watching these videos, it's like, you know,
A buffet.
yeah, a buffet of entertainment. You're not limited to just one thing.
Exactly. Explore, experiment, find what you like.
And you might find a community you really connect with.
That's one of the coolest things about all this.
I think so too. You know, we talked about creators building careers, building something that lasts.
Right. Something sustainable.
And that's where platforms like YouTube Shorts and Clash are really interesting because they're giving creators more control.
More ways to earn money.
Exactly. More ways to earn money, more direct connection with their audience.
It's a pretty big shift.
It is, and it makes you wonder, will this become the norm?
Yeah. Will we see more platforms adopting these kinds of features?
It's exciting to think about.
It really is.
And you know, another theme that keeps coming up is community.
Yeah, that seems to be really important to people.
Definitely. Whether it's music lovers on Dubsmash or art enthusiasts on Vero, people want to feel like they belong.
Like they're part of something.
Exactly. And these apps are a great way to do that.
They create a space for people to connect over shared interests.
It's like a virtual campfire, you know?
I love that analogy.
Me too. People gathering around sharing stories.
Even in a digital world, we still crave that human connection.
We do. Okay, so we've talked about a lot. Different platforms, features, monetization, community.
It's a lot to digest.
It is. But I think the big question is, what are you looking for in a short-form video app?
What are your goals?
Right. Do you want to be famous? make money, be creative, find a community.
Or maybe just have some fun.
There's no wrong answer.
Exactly. What matters is finding what works for you.
And that might be different from what works for your friends or your favorite influencer.
Everyone's different.
That's why it's so important to explore. Don't be afraid to try new things.
See what's out there.
Download a new app, connect with a different community. You never know what you might discover.
That's a good adventure.
It is a digital adventure with endless possibilities.
And remember, you don't have to choose just one.
Oh, that's a good point.
You can have multiple apps, depending on what you're looking for at any given moment.
Like a wardrobe of apps.
Exactly. Choose what you want to wear, depending on your mood.
Okay, now that is a great analogy. Yeah, it really is like having a whole wardrobe. You pick what works for you in the moment.
Exactly. And just like with clothes, what's popular changes all the time.
Yeah, trends come and go so fast.
You got to stay on top of things.
You do. Well, this has been really eye-opening. We've discovered some really cool apps, and I feel like we've really gotten a sense of what's driving this whole world of short-form video.
Yeah, it's been fun to dive into all of this with you.
Me too.
But before we wrap up, there's one last thing I want to throw out there.
Oh, I love a good cliffhanger.
Well, it's not really a cliffhanger. It's more of a, I don't know, a question to think about.
Yeah, okay, hit me with it.
With all these different apps out there, do you think one will eventually, take over?
Become the dominant one.
Yeah, or will we see more of what we have now, like a bunch of different platforms, each with its own niche?
That's a good question. It's like, will it be one giant everything store or a bunch of smaller specialty shops?
That's a great analogy,
Yeah.
because there are pros and cons to both.
Yeah. I mean, having everything in one place is definitely convenient,
Oh yeah, super convenient.
but then you lose some of that variety.
Exactly, that unique flavor that each app has.
So it's kind of like, do we want a world where everything is the same or a world where we have lots of different choices?
And it's a question we see play out in a lot of different areas, not just with apps.
Yeah, like think about music streaming or online shopping.
Exactly. There are always those big players, but there are also those smaller, more specialized options.
So maybe the future of short-form video is, well, maybe it's a mix of both.
Yeah, maybe the big platforms will always be there, but those smaller communities will continue to thrive too.
So people can kind of go back and forth depending on what they're looking for.
Exactly. Like use one app to reach a huge audience and then another app to connect with a smaller group of people who share your specific interests.
It's like having different tools for different jobs.
Exactly. And that's pretty cool when you think about it.
It is, and it makes me really optimistic about the future of all this. I think we're going to see a lot of creativity, a lot of connection, a lot of exciting new things.
And that's what it's all about, right?
It is. Well, this has been an amazing deep dive, and I really appreciate you joining me.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
And to all our listeners out there, I hope you're feeling inspired to explore. Download a new app, connect with a different community, and see what you discover.
You never know. You might just find your new favorite corner of the internet.
Well said. Happy scrolling, everyone.